You are what you watch. Hello, my name is Atty and welcome to our program. As you can see, we're back to our regular programming, except that the backdrop, we are still using that of vote 2010. But why not? Because, well, we're not exactly finished with all the events that have taken place last Monday. Now, before we go forward, yes, my eyes are red. I know, this time both eyes are red, which is why I'm titling the show Twilight. Diba? Yan ang ingay na. So I'm like the vampire coming on, not dusk, but twilight as daylight turns into night. But why twilight? Because the subject we want to discuss in this program would be basically what they call the constitutional crisis. Do we have one? Do we not? The crisis meaning or pointing to reference the new Chief Justice that was sworn in 9:30 May 18, if that's correct. 17, Monday. So, we've got Chief Justice Corona, who now completes the slate, being the Chief Justice, to have been appointed by the singular President, GMA, to make them a complete 15 in the Supreme Court. Now, the situation is such that the soon-to-be President-elect Noynoy Aquino does not want this to be the issue and wants to be the appointing committee. But why not? Siyang incoming. The outgoing supposedly has a ban of 60 days before the election na hindi pwede na mag-appoint, dapat ibigay na. Apparently, GMA decided not to do so and has gone to the Supreme Court and, well, as the saying goes, in-appoint niya 14 out of 15. Siya na rin. Ano ngayon, 15 out of 15. They sided with her. Now, whether they sided with her legally or otherwise or morally incorrect, that's not the point. The Supreme Court is the last bastion of what we call yes, no, meaning the final arbiter. What they say in this case, in our system, is called legal absolute. So we have to take their point of view. However, now, the saying as it goes, will you break the tradition? Will the new president, will the first ever president to be of this republic, break that tradition and say, I don't want to be sworn in by you. I will go to the barangay kapitan. Who tells me the law? Who says labag sa ligang batas yan? Tama nga naman po yun. No? With us, we have a legal luminary who's also the legal, let's see, the man who stands in front of the legal department of the COMELEC. Yes, don't ask those questions. We'll ask about the other questions later about the COMELEC and the other issues that are still raging. But we have with us Attorney Ferdinand Rafanan. Hello, sir. Thank you very much for being on our show. Busy ka. Di ka makuha during the elections, eh. Ang dami mong ginagawa. Your point of view, sir. Tingin mo, pangit, illegal, hindi maganda, ang gusto gawin ni Noynoy na not to swear in with the new Chief Justice?
I think it is his freedom of choice. It would not be illegal for him to take his oath before any other official authorized to administer oath. He could take his oath before a justice of the Supreme Court. It might be
Kailangan judiciary?
No, not necessarily, but anyone who...
Can I swear him in if he allows me?
No, you are not authorized.
So who are the authorized po?
First, notaries public.
Oo nga naman, sila yung mga legal documentarians, you know?
Yeah. We take our oath before them and they document what we do. Second, all judges.
Any?
Yeah, Chief Justice, Justices of the Supreme Court, Associate Justices of the Court of Appeals, RTC
first
judges.
instance, lahat. RTC, pwede.
Municipal judge. Yes.
Municipal judge.
All judges. And governors.
People with a mandate.
Chief executives.
Chief
Like
mayor.
The mayor also.
Pwede rin yun.
And in this case, another chief executive is the barangay captain.
Oo nga, executive chief siya ng kagawad in the community.
Yeah. And also all presidential appointees.
So, any presidential appointee, let's suppose, ginawa nila si Purisima o si Abad or si Nonong Cruz, bumalik naging secretary na naman, they can swear him in?
Yeah.
Pero di ba mauuna muna yung presidente before the president appoints his secretary? So, dapat a sitting secretary that is continuous. For example, the one in Civil Service Commission, pwede yun. Kasi continue siya eh. Parang ganon, di ba? Continue siya. So, why is it they're saying, kuro-kuro? Why then do we have what they call a constitutional crisis? Obviously, we don't. It's not a looming crisis. It's only tradition that the presidents are swearing in with the chief justices.
I think it's not the swearing in that they call a constitutional crisis, but it is the apparent refusal of the incoming president to recognize Chief Justice
Corona.
as the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court.
Masama ba yan?
Well, we have a system of laws, and we have institutions that are instituted there
Yes, sir.
by virtue of the Constitution and the laws. And when we refuse to recognize
The institution.
the institutions and the officials, then there will be some problems. And where the positions are constitutional positions and we refuse to recognize them, then that is what they call a constitutional crisis.
Let's look at the situation. You've got Noy Noy, who is opposition, president, soon to be president-elect, coming in 30, 40, 50 days, who will now replace the sitting president. Now, alam niya that in the last 9 years, the president has appointed 100% of the Supreme Court justices. Now, may mga kuro-kuro. Being opposition, one of the campaign promises, I'm gonna go after GMA. Di ba? Parang ganun yan eh. Si GMA naman has not been, it's all been kuro-kuro in the news and media and whatnot that she's been supposedly corrupt. But she has never been pinned down. I mean, let's face it, never. Sure, the impeachment, sure, ZTE, sure, kung ano-ano, but never has she been under the rule of law na indicted, so to speak. Now, sasabihin ngayon ng opposition, who's now going to be the soon sitting president, hahabulin kita. Paano kita hahabulin kung if you go to the regular courts, mag-appellate courts ka, and then you go to the Supreme Court, sinasabi nga ni Noy Noy, kung tatakbo ka rin sa absolute authority, which is the Supreme Court, di wala rin mangyayari. Lahat yung in-appoint mo parang ganun. Yan ang message dyan, if I'm not mistaken. Being that is the reality, assume that is the reality. Tama ba ginagawa ni GMA? Di ba may ban, 60 days. Labag siya sa ban. Pero, it was the same court who said, pwede. You can do that with the justices. Di ba? The same court, the Supreme Court said, pwede niya gawin itong ginagawa niya eh. The problem is, tama ba yan o mali? If you were Noy Noy, would you? What would you do?
Well, he is saying that he's going to investigate and prosecute GMA. I think that was his campaign promise.
That's right.
Yeah. And although so far she has not been pinned down,
Never.
and she has not been held liable, it is precisely for that reason that the incoming president would have to do it himself.
Parang ganun nga eh. Is it immoral for Supreme Chief Justice Carrion? What's his name? Chief Justice
Corona.
Is it immoral for him to have allowed himself to be sworn in by the sitting president knowing that she's gone in 40 days, 45 days? If you were Chief Justice Corona, papayag ka?
I do not really.
It's already done, so it's moot and academic. He's already sworn. Would you have sworn in? I keep thinking about it. Number one, ano na siya, Justice of the Supreme Court, he's one among the best. He's one of the 14 top. Di ba, the law stops with them eh. Whatever the Supreme Court says is legal. Correct me if I'm wrong, di ba? Yun na yung absolute law eh. Ang hirap man ganun yan, ano?
Well, the Supreme Court has legitimized the appointment.
That's the problem.
Yeah. The process